enemy team. What were the highlights of the last series, would you say?
Certainly, watching Faith Beyond play an offlane Death Prophet and Jinkyu. I mean, you'd never be able to guess his three heroes in the four position. That's for sure.
Hmm.
Uh, first game Clinks, second game Ember, third game Void Spirit, all in the four position.
That's gotta feel really weird, the fact that you can just play the Ember anywhere right now. I think it's one of my friends was talking to me. It's the most played hero above 6k MMR. More picked than anything else, just because you can play it in basically any lane in the exact same way. Position 4 is a little bit odd, uh, but it's an extremely versatile pick right now.
Yeah, it seems to do well. Mid, safe lane, four position. Don't see it too much in the off lane. I doubt we really see it in the 5 too. But quite honestly, I think it's very versatile. I think Jinkyu really knows how to play those kind of heroes that are versatile in aggressive manners. Like we saw him just on the Void Spirit play really, really well.
Mm.
So honestly, I'm excited to see where that team goes, where eHome is, especially Jinkyu, because he seems to be the rising star on that squad. And if this is going to kind of flood into the rest of China, are we going to see that four position be kind of that fourth core in a way? I know a couple patches ago we used to see that more and more with the four position becoming a core or transitioning into that like hard hitter,
Mm.
but we'll see if that continues.
So you're thinking that we go back to like TI5 days, where the position 4 played extremely greedy. He would go around the map and make plays by himself.
Um, yeah, I mean, maybe not that far because that was during the time of having like Tusk four position, right? Where they'd always rotate over mid. Bobica was playing for IG at that time. And I mean, he comes to mind when I think rotations. Not only that, but he also used to play the Monkey King in that kind of four position rotate and start to dominate the game.
Hmm. And back then, people played Monkey King. It was a lot for scouting purposes, but that hero was so strong back then. And you could just buy a basher on him. All of your Wukong command soldiers would get the basher. Ridiculous hero at the time.
Yeah, certainly still a ridiculous hero, maybe in a different way. But this is something we actually talked about, me and Mofara, in the previous series, was the fact that they were just kind of ignoring the Keeper of the Light. Um, both those teams were ignoring Keeper of the Light, but LGD, they're not a team that just shy away from Coddle. I think it's a very LGD staple to go for this Keeper of the Light, as X Nova normally plays it.
Hmm.
So we'll see what they want to put on FY, as there's certainly a ton of options if they want to go into the 4-5 immediately. We see things like, of course, Tusk and Rubik come out for FY on LGD. But now after that Jinkyu game, they go to the Void Spirit. This could be a 4 Void Spirit.
I mean, Void Spirit is basically just purple Ember Spirit. I do want to talk about the picking phase right here. We were just talking about that Ember Spirit and how versatile he is, and I've told you so many times, my casting with you, that I think the best things to pick in the early draft is someone who can go into any lane or into multiple positions, because it doesn't reveal too much about what you want to do, so it makes it too hard for you to be countered. I do like what PSG.LGD did in picking up the Coddle right after that. Coddle, like you said, is an extremely strong hero right now, and you definitely don't want to be playing against a Coddle Ember Spirit. I'm not sure if you've had to deal with it in any of your games, but that double slight and the double chains is absolutely ridiculous in the early game.
Yeah, that damage early is kind of disgusting. And we've seen Coddle, they've already banned the Bristle on Team Aster. I would have said, with this Coddle pickup, I would have been interested to see maybe a Chalice Bristleback, but it will be ending up to be something different. And they've gone to the Void Spirit and Coddle keeping it, like you said, versatile. And that was, I maybe I do this too much with comparing parts and parts of Dota or times and times of Dota. But we used to see the versatile, and I think it was the beginning of it, like what, a year ago, when we were seeing like lineups just be like who could be where, like anybody could be anywhere. It seems like, and we're still
Mhm.
kind of seeing that with some of these heroes that are finding themselves in more positions. Like Void Spirit for his first week or so was strictly mid. Now
Yeah,
he sometimes goes off lane, sometimes goes mid, and sometimes goes four. Like people are still figuring out some of these heroes, and they're still figuring out different positions for some of these heroes.
Yeah, and these heroes are getting reworked all the time too, so everyone's changing up where they should put them. But
Yeah.
like you said, figuring out these new heroes is really important. Um, Next pickup here, Legion Commander. I like Legion Commander a lot in this draft. Well, with the Keeper Light Void Spirit Legion Commander, you've got tons of burst damage. You've got solid lockdown right now. You can get out of a lot of what Ember Spirit can do with the Legion Commander as well. D-spells are like critical at the moment. Ricky, I really like being able to jump massive distances, like gap close and get onto the coddle in the back line. One of the things the coddle's best at right now is the fact that he can save people from so far away. You have that massive cast range, the 200 cast range talent, and like the huge AoE both from Will-O-Wisp and Blinding Light. A lot of things that were nerfed recently, Glimmer Cape, Force Staff, they're also purgeable. The cast range were nerfed. Coddle's one of those heroes that can not put himself out of position and still save his allies with those abilities. So the fact that they ended up picking up Ricky, I think he plays pretty good against the Coddle. I like what they've done there.
Yeah, so we'll see what Aster want to go to now that they're in the second phase, going in their third pick. Ember, of course, one of those heroes that's kind of up in the air on where he's going to go. I've seen Fade kind of play this as Fade's picked up the 4. Originally, when Fade joined this team, he was the 5 and Bobica was staying the 4. I think they've since switched to Fade back into the 4, Bobica into the 5, but there have been instances of the swap back and forth. So Fade, he does play an Ember, but the question is, it's going to come down to probably leaving their mid to the last pick, more so to see what the matchup's going to be, and more definitive on this Ember Spirit as they pick up the Winter Wyvern. I wouldn't be surprised to see their offlaner come out next, leaving their mid as an option and potentially being that Ember or a 4 position.
Yep. I mean, the Winter Wyvern makes a lot of sense. That hero's one of the most consistent right now as well. You can tons with Winter's Curse. You do tons with healing people. As soon as Legion Commander throws the duel off, you cold embrace them. Suddenly she's just stuck there. So they're gonna need an answer. They need to get on top of this Winter Wyvern, maybe with the Void Spirit. I mean, once he gets his Aghanims, it's a massive problem for everyone on Team Master. So Team Master's probably gonna run this. They probably want to run this a little bit fast. That's what I'm thinking right now. I'm not sure we'll see something like a Lycan. Maybe a Timbersaw to pressure the offlane. What are your
Well,
thoughts? You're my Chinese Dota expert slash historian, B Cop. You know all these people better than anyone. What say you?
please, more organizers, listen to that last sentence. Well, I will say Timbersaw is banned, just to come off the.
Oh God,
I
I
hate
had
to be
just
that
woken up from a
guy.
nap.
I hate to be that guy. Yes, you did wake up from a nap. There's always got to be that guy. If it wasn't going to be Chad, it was going to be me. I'd rather
Mm-hmm.
it be me than be Chad. However, looking at
Stabbed in
this
the back by my
LGD lineup,
play-by-play.
looking at this LGD lineup as they go into the Dark Willow, that pulls the Void Spirit most likely out of the 4. The question now becomes, and I've seen LGD play it before, is a 1 Legion commander. It doesn't necessarily have to happen. It could be the offlane Legion, which is most likely the case. I just think about all the opportunities that LGD can pull, especially Chalice, who is well accustomed to a Legion commander as he used to play offlane for this team. But what many people don't know, and everybody's like, I can't believe LGD put an offlaner in the safe lane. Chalice started off as a safe laner. He was a carry for Max Y. So this is actually back to where he started Pro Dota in the safe lane role. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them go like safe lane Legion. I know that's not common, but it's something that I can feel like LGD would do, especially with their lineup right now. I just wonder if they want to go a different direction and maybe pick something else up. I don't see a Lycan coming out for them. I'm wondering if maybe the Phantom Lancer for Chalice is the option here for them.
Yeah, I feel like Winter Wyvern's probably too good of an answer for the Lycan. I mean, you just drop that curse into Lycan in the middle of all of his
Yeah.
units, and suddenly he's not very happy. Uh, so that's not going to come out from PSG.LGD. It might come out from Aster. Aster do want to play this very fast. They've got decent sustain. They've got burst damage to get out of the backline in the form of Ricky. That one actually surprises me quite a bit. Morphling got some pretty heavy nerfs recently. What with the This changes to stats, no longer granting you bonus magic resistance, spell amp, and movement speed. Morphling's one of the slowest agility heroes in the game to begin with, and when they added those changes, they reduced the movement speed of ranged agility heroes. Now with Morphling, of course, late game when he's sitting on like 300 agility, that was a lot of extra movement speed he was getting. He's got something like what 320 with boots right now.
Whew, that is pretty slow.
Yeah, that really affects his farming speed.
But this
I just
Morphling, is it mid now? Like, is he even? Let's say if it is against the Void Spirit, is that a good matchup for him?
I mean, he can do some decent damage, but towards the late game, you do have that issue of the Void Spirit Aghanims where you have that double 2 second silence.
That Ags needs to be changed, I think, to one silence. I think two silence is too much. One
Eggs needs to
silence,
be changed to
that's
you
fine.
press it, it kills the Void Spirit himself, you know? Take him out of the game, get him out of here. I don't want to see him anymore.
Hmm. I think getting rid of Void Spirit might upset some people. I saw people saying that they were going to vote for him for the Arcana vote as well. So you might be dealing with a lot of Void Spirit.
There's going to be no Arcana vote. There's going to be no TI. It's delayed.
There's Battle Pass still coming out.
That is true. What was it that some people wanted to call the Battle Pass? I'm sure you know.
Quarantine Pass.
That's the one. Thank you. You got time to look at memes all day as you're stuck in quarantine yourself.
This is true. Very true. And the Phantom Lancer ban actually comes out. So they were listening.
Mm-hmm. Stream sniping. Well,
Only on a
PSG.LGD
2 minute
Twitter
delay.
guys really like you. That guy's probably listening to you.
He might be. I know he you know, we've DM'd each other a few times here and there.
Ooh, slide into the DMs, B cop.
And they always do like
Careful.
my tweets. That's one of my highlights. When I see a little heart on my phone and it's just like LGD PSG LGD has liked your LGD gaming has liked your tweet, and I'm always just like, best day of my life.
And there we have the Pangolier, so that's going to limit a lot of options. This hero is insanely annoying. You saw that recent Slacks video, I'm sure everyone watching did, where he talks about the percent chance, the inconsistency, the Wind Ranger video. You know the one I mean, right?
Yeah,
Certainly you watched that. Yeah, Pangolier is exactly like that, where you're committing to a fight and you have that 17% chance to disarm. It, it can make or break games. A lot of the time you will get it. It's like a huge 5 second disarm at the max level, and
it's disgusting.
yeah, it's disgusting. And then there's a small chance that it doesn't work, and then if it doesn't, you just completely lose the team fight. Like it is a
Ooh,
ridiculous concept. Lucky Strike was completely fine before when it was Heart Piercer.
I completely forgot about DK. Oh my, because DK was first banned in every game in the previous series, and it gets through here. I feel like that should have been the first thing I thought about. And I know I've done that. I know chat's probably getting annoyed. This guy always does that. He thinks it. He thinks in retrospect. I
Well, that's what
understand
we
that.
do. As
I mean,
casters, we have
that's
we get to
what I
look
kind
at
of
things
want
in
to do.
retrospect. Yeah, we sit on the
But
couch and we talk about what they should have done.
yeah, I've been seeing a lot of this one position DK, and I was talking about it in the last series how much I actually really like it. I think it's very strong right now. Obviously, China is one of those regions that really loves this hero, and they have been embracing the strength of DK full force.
Not very exciting to watch, but that is something that China has been embracing. And it was popular a couple of years ago too, when they first changed that breathe fire around. We saw a lot of DK coming out of China.
And I think it's a comfort hero for a lot of the players in China too. It's a comfort hero for most players in general, but I think in China it's like, what do we pick mid? DK.
Yeah,
You know, you don't
DK.
even risk it. You just go DK.
Yeah, it doesn't lose. The thing about DK, it doesn't lose the lane that hard. It doesn't win that hard. It's way too difficult to zone him out. Uh, he's going to exist in the lane, but he also doesn't really have any kill potential on his own because you don't really want to be going stun in the lane either. You want to be maxing that breathe fire, so you can CS and contest the enemies and get denies because it's got that damage reduction, and you want to be maxing out that dragon's blood as well, so you can take harass.
Yeah, I think really it's just a value point in Dragon Tail, but only a value point I believe if the opportunity presents itself to get a kill where a stun is needed.
Hmm.
Prepare for
But
battle.
even right now, I'd argue that like what some people say is okay, it's not even worth it to get X ability at level 1 if it gets you a kill because then you just lose your lane. Dota's a weird game like that when killing the enemy can sometimes be a bad thing.
Yeah, it's at least it's not like the end all be all like League, and I hate to do that comparison, but I've seen games of League where it's like first blood is there for so and so team. This game is already looking over. I'm like, we're 5 seconds in. What is going on here? What do you mean the game is over? But
Yeah, it's
I
done.
think heroes like that are like Rubik. Like I think the stun level one is not. I think that's a lane losing pick.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be really fun. It was a
Rise
lane winning pick back when you could clip
30
people nearby the
seconds
lanes.
to
You remember,
battle.
like, by the old ruins and whatnot over in the river? There's, like, the high ground over here. Yeah, you know what I'm
Oh
talking
yeah,
about, right?
yeah, I got you. I got you.
There's tons of places you could clip people. Then it was a lane winning because it didn't start with down portal scrolls. Those were the golden days.
Yeah.
That weren't so golden. I think everyone was a lot worse at Dota back then.
Carries get to save money on their TPs,
Battle
and they
begins.
still complain about free wards not being purchased.
Hmm.
When will
All
they
right, we're
learn?
missing a little bit of action down here in the Radiant Jungle already. Skirmish between Dark Willow and the Winter Wyvern. Bobica.
Yeah, FY going into the Bramble Maze, which is pretty standard. Usually, if we see a couple of heroes stationary when looking for last hits, it'll be more of just throwing down that Bramble Maze and locking them up for a little bit of damage, because that latch damage, 125 is not bad early on.
Oh yeah, one of the strongest level 1 abilities in the game. I mean, they've slowly been scaling everything down over the last couple of years. Bramble Maze, especially if you run into multiple, where they can force you to run into multiple with some sort of ability or blocking their path off. It's wonderful. So,
Try harder.
you love to see it. And did end up being Sean on the Ember Spirit in the mid lane, and he's going to be laning against the Void Spirit. So we see purple versus red.
The brother purple against the brother red.
Hmm. Which do you
As,
prefer, Peacock?
I mean, I do like new, so Void Spirit is always fun, but um, at least player wise, Somnus to me should be able to take this matchup. I think Schwann's really come into his own with this Aster lineup. I think earlier on when this team was first getting formed and he had first, or not when it was first getting formed, but when he first came onto this team, maybe he struggled a little bit and was that weaker link, and we could see maybe the lack of synergy between him and SCCC. But this is a team that has, I think, found its own. And Coddle almost getting taken out. X Nova is still getting chased a little bit there by Fate. Fate trying to come through the trees and find himself a Coddle, but he's already popped that salve. So trying to get that kill is maybe worthless.
Yeah, and damage came out pretty fast. Low armor here, low HP, but managed to get away. Blinding Light. Really good at disengaging from the enemy. Yeah, Blinding Light and Winter's Curse, like two of the best abilities in the game for resetting.
Bramble Maze comes in, and that'll latch Bobica. Splinter Blast thrown, as well as the overwhelming odds from Old 11. A lot of damage being done into the Shadow Realm with Yugi's grandfather as Old 11 gets chased by SCCC. But First Blood comes in for Bobica with that Splinter Blast, and SCCC will drop as well. So FY really getting the better of that, as he's got a Mango to get a Bramble Maze down and get a kill here onto Bobica. So
Oh, we're
2 kills
just
for
getting
FY.
started.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world for the Morphling, I'd argue. He gets to grab some items and come straight back to lane. But if this Dark Willow gets too strong too fast, she gets a quick pair of boots, suddenly becomes a lot easier for her to rotate from lane to lane. You don't know where she is. Uh, if she's able to get a couple of rotations mid before this Ember hits level 6, the game could turn on its head very quickly for PSG.LGD. Speaking of mid lane,
And Schwann just chasing down Somnus for the moment. But Somnus is in at 17-7 to the Ember 15-3, so close to even. But 7 denies for Somnus puts him just a little bit of experience ahead.
and we see a pause coming out. But it's always hard to tell whether or not these heroes are going to dive one another in the mid lane, and fights can turn on their heroes very quickly between Ember Spirit and Void Spirit. I mean, what with Flame Guard and Resonant Pulse, and again the Aether Remnant landing is just like really amazing. Even any ability that displaces the enemy, even the tiny little displacement that Aether Remnant does, can make a huge difference in like the grand scheme of things. So again, you're not in tower range, and suddenly you take 2 tower shots because you've moved just slightly forward, and you have to turn around. And that mechanic works very, very weird. Like I learned just the other day, somebody pointed out that Keeper of the Light ultimate or even Aether Remnant will both disable Lasso. If you have an allied Batrider, Lasso's the enemy. If Coddle Ult or Aether Remnant hit the enemy who is lassoed, it'll just break it. Yeah, it's a very weird interaction.
Not one you'd expect.
Mhm.
That's for sure. But
Fortunately, Batrider not in this game.
taking a look at DK, sitting level 3, 16-3 so far, doing a decent job. So is XSS actually. He's 18-2. Really, the only one struggling, I would say, is the Morphling because he's 6-4. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not the worst thing in the world that he ended up dying there. It's better that than him just sitting in the lane at no HP and kind of getting harassed out. Because again, that's what you see people do all the time in mid lane. If you manage to get a kill on the enemy mid laner, what do people do if you're like really low health? They just run straight into the enemy tower, come back with the enemy, and that way you came out on top with the XP, the gold, not that much of a change, but it's better to just suicide, come back to lane full HP, full mana. So the more struggling, but I think him like hard committing to that fight, even though the FY ended up getting a double kill, was the right move there.
I wonder who's going to come over come the first catapult wave. Usually, when we see a lot of rotations towards mid, if there's going to be any, is at about that 5.5 minute mark. We see those catapults come in, and definitely with that fly on this Dark Willow, I could see the rotation coming there. I think it's a lot harder for Aster to get something done with the Winter Wyvern as well as having the Ricky. Jeez, I didn't even realize that the Ricky was the 4.
Yeah, it's a little bit bizarre. We've been seeing Ricky 1 more than anything else. But again, when you have the Morphling on your team, it only makes sense that you're taking the back seat. Ricky 4 was popular for a while, though. I really don't think it's the case anymore with how they've changed Cloak and Dagger around. But again, that was like the big information patches where you'd head around with invisible heroes. You head around with Monkey King, and you just kind of scat out the enemies. Right now, you don't really have that luxury.
XSS hits that level 4. Take a look over mid as Fate is making the rotation. But we'll see if he's able to accomplish anything. And Somnus, he'll salve up, get back to full health. As Fade shows himself, he's spotted under the ward. They've got an Invis rune here for Shalon to fill up that bottle. And I think the rotation maybe was just to secure that rune. And he had a 50-50 chance that it was going to be over towards top, and it ends up being that way. So filling up that bottle, very important at the moment. As Shalon able to kind of secure himself stability in the lane.
Short little engagement here, but we won't see much of it in the bottom. Top lane, however.
Oh, SCCC getting low, and the DK in a little bit of trouble. SCC gets out of that one, but we take a look over top. Chalice with the tricks of the trade. XSS continuing on forward, maybe looking over at X Nova, but sitting at pretty much full health. He's really quite fine with that. And as I say that, Swashbuckle comes in from XSS to knock him down a peg.
Yeah, the harass coming out back and forth. It's too hard to bring down the Dragon Knight at the start of the game. Look at him. 1 tango, 21 HP regen a second at the moment. But he's got that +6 armor from Dragon Blood. So as long as Cobble's minding his positioning, Dragon Knight doesn't go too far out of position, he's always going to be able to save him with that blinding light. I did see that dive there in the middle lane.
Almost a solo kill. Somnus ends up surviving. Throws out that Resonant Pulse. He's got level 3 into the Aether Remnant. Legion Commander also sitting low on the side of OGD, but neither of these heroes end up dead, at least for the moment being.
Somnus on this Void Spirit. I was thinking he was going to pick up a raindrop there. Yeah, they definitely won't get Chalice here in the top lane. That's like the last person they want to go on. If they can somehow get behind them onto the Keeper of the Light, great. But I don't see that happening until there's a little bit more damage coming out from the Riki once he's level 6. But yeah, I'm surprised Somnus here didn't buy a raindrop, but with him just getting dived by Juan
Radiant's
here.
middle tower is under attack.
Well, you know, now he's got himself that Astral Step. Probably a little bit easier for him to disengage from these fights.
Mhm.
But 5.5 minute mark came and went, and there was no rotation over towards mid. I'm a little bit surprised by that, but also I didn't know the situation that was going on more with FY on that Dark Willow.
Yeah. A little bit of harass coming out in the mid lane. Not much is going to come of this with the Coddle sitting up on the high ground here, though. But yeah, 2 runes heading over to Juan. Probably a little bit upset with that if you're Somnus. I really don't like that part of the game being so RNG. I'm glad that they changed around so runes don't spawn to the 4-minute mark, because you can go from losing your lane 1 minute winning your lane really hard 1 minute to the enemy getting a regen. Suddenly you've exhausted all of your mana and you're not winning the lane anymore. So at like 2 minutes into the game. So glad that is not a thing anymore. As much as
Radiant's courier has
bottle
been
is
killed.
RNG.
So Morphwing compared to that DK still struggling. SCCC at 24-9 compared to the DK's 41-8. Chalice having a good time. He went into the Elder Dragon form immediately, but now he's being chased. As I said, he was doing great. This might be a problem for him. Tricks of the trade as well as the Remnant, but they've got the Aether Remnant down. That locks in the Ember, so Schwann's still trying to get the kill here on the Chalice, but Chalice gets behind the trees, and now Somnus might be the one who's in trouble. The Swashbuckler gets the disarm with a lucky shot, and Fade on the run. Somnus, not another Astral Step for a moment, but has the Resonant Pulse to get the kill. So at least gets one, and they do not kill off the DK.
That's I chalked it up to the result of DK getting movement speed buff after movement speed buff. And right now he's sitting at 355 without his dragon form. With he was at 380 there. They just couldn't catch up to him. But that, along with how tanky he was, there's just no way. PSG.LGD slowly taking the lead right now. Up about 1,000 gold.
Yeah, happy with where they're sitting so far, but as I say that, Tricks of the Trade comes out, Somnus with the Resonant Pulse. They've got X-Nova nearby. Only level 3, just a little bit of a disruption with the Blinding Light.
Somnus was very adamant about getting the rune that time and stood his ground. Not happy about the Ember getting everyone so far, but the regen's going to be pretty nice. Things, other than a couple kills going the way of LGD, things are pretty even as far as CS goes.
I think the only one struggling is just SCCC, and now you've got the duel, so
Radiant's
if you want to make a
middle
rotation
tower
over
is under
bottom, or
attack.
maybe even just go for the duel right now on SCCC, but he morphs into the strength enough where going for that kill may not have been worth it. If you've got Bedlam, I could see that opportunity coming and going, but right now FY just sitting at level 5, although soon to be at that 10-minute mark and maybe pump himself up to that level 6.
Yep.
And Old 11 under the tower again. He is just almost tunnel visioning into these duels. Oh, Morphwing's Courier. That's Boots gone.
Ooh. He's going to be slow for the next couple of minutes now.
Radiant's
Oh yeah, and under this tower, Bobica TP's out, waveform looking to leave, and I think the creeps actually help him on that one to block in Old 11.
I mean, you didn't lose your heroes, but you're going to lose quite a bit of HP if this tower doesn't just go down from this one push. Elder Dragon form doing its work with the Corrosive Breath, and I missed that kill up there in the top lane. Aster taking a page out of LGD's book, just diving under the tower. With everyone down there too focused on that tier 1, definitely not worth it for them to head up there and save the Coddle.
Yeah, they at least get the kill there. However, they lose the tier 1 tower bottom, so maybe not the best of trades overall.
Yep, and that'll open up the jungle for PSG.LGD, so bottom tier 1 is really important for them to take. Again, not worth heading up there and saving your position 5. Sorry, X-Nova.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
As much as I'm sure they like him. Trusty shovel coming out, Legion Commander.
With that 10-minute mark, we take a look over
Dire's
now at
structures are
FY,
fortified.
who is getting close to that level 6.
Dire's top
Who ended
tower
up
is under attack.
picking up the tome? If it's even been purchased at this point.
Dire's
Oh,
top
there
tower
it is.
is
There's
under
the tome
attack.
finally getting bought by FY.
Things could be about to get ugly down here.
Rolling Thunder comes in onto Chalice as well as Somnus. They don't have level 6 on the Winter Wyvern, so no Winter's Curse available, but the damage onto this Dragon Knight is enough. Chalice just getting locked down and killed off. However, this is going to turn into 2 kills for LGD and a dual victory. Sleight of Searing Chains is in, but it's not going to be in time. Bobica and XSS lose their life. Somnus and FY get credit for a kill.
I mean, Dragon Knight going down definitely slow down this push. They want to get a couple levels on
Dire's middle tower is under
Winter
attack.
Wyvern and keep them alive right now. Having that Winter's Curse to be able to disengage from some of these bad fights is super important for Aster right now. Because again, they're going to be running at them non-stop with this Dragon Knight Legion Commander lineup. This is a very tanky run-at-you lineup from LGD. And with your jungle opened up, like, they got all the room in the world.
Gosh, that CCC going hyper
Radiant's
defensive
bottom
with
tower
this
is
build.
under attack.
First item, Lincolns.
Wait, what?
Bounty.
Yeah, Morphling so far, first item Lincolns. That's what, at least what he's looking
That's
to
the worst
get.
item in the game. The shopkeeper's ripping you off when you buy that.
Bubble from the void.
He's stealing from you. I mean, it'll stop Dragon Tail, it'll stop the Legion
Radiant's
Commander
middle
duel,
tower is under attack.
but I'm not sure that's what you want to be building as your first item. He's messing with us. Right?
We'll see. He's stuck on it for a while. He might just keep it there, as well as Curse Crown being a way to break that. This is maybe one of those situations where we see the Morphling potentially in a lot of trouble because he's sitting pretty far behind. Not terribly far behind
Dire's
Chalice,
top tower is under
but
attack.
we look at LGD, who are starting to pull away from the Morphling altogether.
Ooh.
Winter's Curse comes in, and that'll lock up 2 of these heroes, but this is just a disengagement for them. They do have one more Astral Step if Somnus can make his way forward. Will is just on the edge! Terrorize now hits onto the Morphling. Can they lock him up with the Aether Remnant? They do have a lockdown as well as the Cursed Crown, which will pop while he's in the Cold Embrace. They'll try to do the damage to get the kill here on SCCC. Waveform onto the low ground. Fate's Courier goes down, so that was actually the Tome. As Rolling Thunder comes through, they get the kill on Axe Nova as well as Chalice. And it's just Chalice, unfortunately, getting caught twice in that Rolling Thunder. Swashbuckle comes in as well as Tricks of the Trade on top. They finally kill off this Ember Spirit. Waveform forward, trying to take out Old 11. The damage on XS isn't going to be enough as they've disarmed this Void Spirit, but SCCC going to focus FY as well as Fade. They grab the kill there. The Aether Remnant pulls in Bobica, and they take out the Winter Wyvern. They're still continuing forward, thinking about going in on XSS. They don't have an Astral Step for 2 more seconds. SCCC throws an Adaptive Strike that finishes off Old 11, and now they might even get more. Tricks of the Trade hits onto Somnus, and it's 3 around 1, but they won't commit onto the Void Spirit.
Just like that, the fight ends. I didn't catch how
Radiant's
that
middle
happened,
tower
but
is
somehow
under
in
attack.
that fight, the Dragon Knight ended up in the pit over here with the Pango. And he had that sort of glitch Rolling Thunder where he was just kind of clipping into the wall, but he was clipping into the wall while hitting the Dragon Knight again and again with his Rolling Thunder. That was very bizarre to see, and I think that was a major factor why they won that fight there. You didn't have your tanky frontliner running at them. Instead, you just had him die to a glitched out Pango. It was definitely intentional, though. Just neat to see how they both got caught in the Roche pit like that.
Yeah, it's
I'm not
you
sure
know,
if
the
you
second
caught the
fight with Chalice being taken out of the fight pretty quickly.
I'm not sure if you caught how he ended up in that scenario, but it was very weird. Maybe someone in Twitch chat caught it.
Yeah, I didn't see how they got there. I just saw that he was being continually locked
Radiant's
down
bottom
inside the
tower
Roche
is
pit.
under attack.
Ricky, actually, several heroes on Team Aster feeling pretty confident after that last team fight, playing really deep into PSG.LGD's jungle. Meanwhile, them doing the same down the bottom lane. I mean, both of them taking the tier 1s respectively in their safe lanes, so it makes sense that that's where they want to play. You're going to take the
Radiant's
tower a
bottom
lot
tower
faster,
is under attack.
though, on LGD.
Dire's courier has been killed.
They're looking to go for this bottom tier 2. Somnus will try and clean up this creep wave with the Astral Step, as well as having that Aether Remnant down in a potential TP spot to rotate to try and
Radiant's
help
bottom
save
tower
this
is
tier
under
2, and
attack.
there's another one. So they're hoping to get a TP out of this, but
Radiant structures
Nobody coming down
are
just yet.
fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under
No
attack.
bite, ultimates up R on the ready.
Dire are
But they're gonna
scanning.
head over here at mid lane. They don't want to lose this tier 1 tower. Aster thinks better of it and backs up a little bit in the enemy jungle.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Fade, despite being in this 4 position, Ricky still looking to go into this diffusal blade, so more of that 4 position kind of morphing into a 4th cork
Dire's top
build
tower
coming
is
through.
under attack.
I mean, it makes sense. You were talking about that before the game, actually.
Ooh, they get the dust. They have this Ricky, well, locked up now. They've got the Bedlam, they have the Shadow Realm damage coming through from FY. They take out Fade, so that'll slow the diffusal. Meanwhile, SCCC, he is in trouble. He tries to TP out and will get out of that engagement, but FY was ready to throw that Terrorize that he had a
Dire's
second
middle
earlier
tower
of
is under
notice.
attack.
He did get out of there, though, so he's had a rough start, but he's been playing pretty well other than that. I don't like the Lincoln Sphere choice, but SCCC is a very smart and handsome Dota player, so I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
I'm still waiting for my clone.
Ah.
I never got it.
But yeah, I was just talking about it. I
Radiant's
might have to
top
stop
tower
myself
is
short
under
again.
attack.
Obviously, Fade doesn't look like he wants to be anywhere near here. Might throw a smoke out, but he'll definitely pay the price of his life for it if he does. Yeah, thinks better of it. So, this tier 1 tower ends up going down. Like I was saying before, though, you were talking about how a lot of these 4s right now are kind of positioned changing into cores. They're not position 4 supports. They're like another... Oh,
Dust out onto Chalice. They're going to go to the Rolling Thunder as well as the Tricks of the Trade. Chalice has just been bullied. He has just been bullied by this Pangolier.
leave him alone. He's had enough.
Middle tower is
I mean,
under
all that Dragon's Blood means absolutely
Dire's
nothing
bottom
if you're
tower
just
is
stunned
under
out and
attack.
taking tons of magical damage from the Pangolier. It's not even the lucky shot I was complaining about at the start of the game that's been doing to him. He's been catching this Dragonite near walls every time he walks close to one.
Jeez.
Put him in the middle of a
Dire's
nice,
middle
safe
tower is
meadow
under attack.
or something. That's where Dragonite needs to be. No walls
He
or
is
trees in sight.
Not found himself in good positioning against this against this Rolling Thunder. On top of that, Fade was ready with the dust. Scouted out the Shadow Blade, knew that he had it, dusts him before he even starts to go on him, and right away you know that that just spells trouble.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as they saw the Shadow Amulet on the Dragonite, like, they're ready to go. That is something that he bought first, and it makes sense that you would buy that one first because you get a lot more attack speed. You farm a lot quicker with the Shadow Amulet. Chalice getting pinged out here. Enemies know where he is, but he is quite tanky. As long as he's not too close to any walls, I think he's safe.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Curse Crown. Fade avoiding that, but now he's been dusted. Blink Strike, there's the duel ready. Bedlam on top of him, and they'll get the kill. Fade ends up being dual damage here for Old 11. Now got himself 28.
This is a pattern I'm seeing, though. Ricky getting picked off a couple of times now, wandering too deep into LGD's territory. I mean, it's fine if you want to be playing like Bounty Hunter or Ricky like this, but they want to turn him into another core. They want to defuse the blade on him, get onto the back line.
Why starting with that Yules, and Bramble Maze was laid down. Got the Searing Chains, but now Dragon Tail, good Winter's Curse on a 3, but the Rolling Thunder makes sure that really Old 11 doesn't output that much damage on the Chalice. They get the kill on the FY as well as X-Nova now into the low ground, but the Refire finishes off Schwan. Dissimulate back to the high ground for Somnus, looking for SCCC. They've got him locked down with the duel, but Swashbuckle, Cold Embrace, and the Splinter Blast to give dual damage over to the Morphling. That is not what you like to see if you're the side of LGD, but now let's see if they can clean up any of these heroes. It's a 4v2. Astral step away in the invis, but well, they've got themselves the sentry down, so they've got the vision out onto Chalice, and they'll get themselves yet another kill onto the DK.
And there's the use of the Lincoln Sphere already. DK unable to TP out, ends up getting cancelled by the adaptive trick because Dragon Tail did not work. But that was like beautiful out of Team Aster. Like you went into that fight a lot stronger on PSG.LGD. You had a double damage rune on your Void Spirit, and you still ended up in the backseat. Beautiful saves there by Winter Wyvern.
This has been struggle city right now for Chalice, and I say that with X-Nova dying. Somnus on the run. Terrorize is fantastic. The problem is, it's with Rolling Thunder again. Winter's Curse comes in, and, well, Bedlam is out from FY. They still don't get any of these kills. They'll take out Old 11. They are losing numbers here on LGD, and it looks like it's going to be a third.
Things are just going bad to worse.
Bramble Maze, but there's the waveform, and it's a triple kill for SCCC. Even with just the Lincolns, he is really clearing up.
SCCC making me eat my words right now. Just a Lincoln Sphere, and he's back on the top of the net worth chart. 1.3k ahead of the Void Spirit already. He moves down here to bottom lane, wants to push this out, take this last tier 1 that they haven't gotten yet.
Dire's bottom tower
Top of
is
that
under attack.
net worth lead, they've got an experience lead, starting to mount over that 3,000 mark. Because you look at the DK and then you compare him to the Morphling, and it is a 3-level difference.
This is E5. Not a place you want to be in. I mean, you put so much into shutting down SCCC and just ended up not mattering. Instead of going for a farming speed item, he went this Lincoln Sphere in order to fight. It made me eat my words. He's playing this beautifully. Winter Wyvern is playing very close to him again and again. A couple times he saved the Morphling with his disengage up there at the top lane as soon as he hit level 6. And then we saw it over here again. So this is as amazing as SCCC is playing. Again, I feel like he owes a lot of this to Bobaca's play on Winter Wyvern.
I think XSS has really done a great job as well. Remnant forward looking for Fly. They've got the Yules, so trying to survive, but now Rolling Thunder coming in. They'll at least get the kill here onto the Dark Willow, but Old 11 escapes.
Yep. Disengage after that. Them sneaking into the jungle didn't go so well. So PSG.LGD, they definitely feel they're on the back foot right now. They have this very tanky run at you lineup, Void Spirit, Legion Commander, Dragonite. This isn't how they want to be right now. They do have the ability to defend high ground with Keeper of the Light quite well. I'd argue that Void Spirit and Legion are also pretty good at it. But Aster is building amazing items in order to deal with them, and I feel like they'll outscale them, especially when playing Ricky as like another core hero on their team, going that Diffusal and the DPS.
Get ourselves a bit of a pause here.
Yeah. Maybe they need to take 5, come up with a game plan right now. Because again, they're probably feeling a little bit choked at the moment. Lost all their outer towers. They weren't expecting Aster to come out ahead after the laning phase, I imagine. Or at least not get back in the game this quickly. This is an amazing fight that they took over here. So, going 4 staff right now on the Keeper of the Light, it's pretty good against a lot of the heroes. Again, it'll save them from like Ember, Searing Chains, Ricky as well if any of these heroes get gone on with a Smoke Cloud. But I feel like we're just going to have too much burst coming out from Aster. And if LGD do manage to get the initiation, Bobaca's positioning has been way too amazing this game for him to not get the reset. He's always getting those Cold Embraces off. He's always getting those Winter's Curses off exactly when he needs to. When his team needs like a fight to reset for a second. So I'm not sure what LGD does here.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough situation, especially with how far back their DK is sitting right now. Maybe they just need to play a little bit more conservatively. And it might be them having to maybe sit behind this line and just occupy this part of the map a little bit more. Not overstep their boundaries, and I mean, potentially just try and recover and play more of a recovery game.
I mean, here's one of your answers on the Void Spirit that egged him Scepter. Having that 2 charge of the 2-second silence and the AoE, that is not something that Lincoln Sphere is going to block, and that's something you can jump out of the back line, Astral Step, and then hit the Winter Wyvern with. But take a look what Bobic is building. I don't think he's going to be close enough to the team fight for him to even astral step onto
Radiant's middle
the
tower is under attack.
Winter Wyvern here. He's going for Blink Dagger. Sit as far back as
Dire's
possible, and
top
then once he
tower
sees
is
things
under
start to
attack.
turn south, probably jump in, Golden Braze, Winter's Curse. I kind of like this.
Which, I mean, with that Blink Dagger, and sorry to cut you off, it means that if you even want to go for him, that's going to cost you both your Astral Steps, most likely.
Yeah. And suddenly you're out of position.
Radiant's
Alright, we see a
bottom
smoke
tower
come
is
out
under
here.
attack.
Let's see if we can get anything over bottom. BKB almost finished for Chalice. Ag's 400, 300 gold away. On the BKB for Legion soon.
Looks like LGD might get out of this without losing any heroes. They're playing very far back. They know something's up.
Blink Dagger for Ricky.
They're not joking around anymore, I guess. I was talking to you about that. The best save that they have in order to reset these fights is the Cube of the Light, especially with his blinding light. If you can get onto the back line with a blink and a blink strike, that's going to gap the distance.
A blink and 2 blink strikes, technically. I mean, that is
Yeah.
a disgusting amount of mobility.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And there's
I
the
see.
debut of the E-Blade right there, but gets avoided.
I see what he's going for here. I don't mind it, actually. It depends if he gets this before the Cube of the Light gets the Staff of Wizardry. And even if he does get the 4 staffs and move himself away, suddenly he's so far away from the team fight that he can't use his Will-O-Wisp or his Blinding Light to help his team in the initiation. So Ricky knows that this Coddle is his guy.
Chalice forced to BKB TP out with that 10-second freshly minted BKB that just got delivered on the courier.
You really don't want to be doing things like that. I mean, you have to in order to not die. Give up too much map control at the moment, but suddenly they can't take a fight for 60 seconds. Looks like I was going to say they were positioning around the Roche pit, but they thought better of it. Void Spirit with his freshly minted Magnum Scepter. Is this going to be enough though?
I'm not certain. It just
have-
doesn't feel like it.
Winter Wyvern does not have the Blink Dagger yet. So he
Yeah.
can get onto them. He can use his AoE silence, and he might be able to blow them up. But it's a bit of a tall order. You're gonna have to get at least a little bit out of position on the Void Spirit in order to do that.
I need to fight this too.
Yeah.
But they don't know that this is happening. Big Aegis pickup for Aster.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Yeah, not even a
Scheme
steal
for-
of the Roche kill from the Keeper of the Light.
This game for LGD is really falling out of their favor. It certainly can bring it back with the right fight. They're only down 3,000 net worth, but it's certainly become much tougher.
Yeah, it's got to be before Boba gets his Blink Dagger. I mean, we're seeing some kind of ridiculous items that I think are really good right now, though. The Blink Dagger on the Ricky and the Winter Wyvern, you see that on your team, you kind of tilt your head and go, what? But you really think about it here, it does make sense. Actually, he just bought 2 Bracers and a Gem of True Sight instead of his Blink Dagger.
Get a little bit more survivable.
Yeah. There you go. I guess Gem of True Sight means that they're ready to start pushing high ground, like taking complete control of the map, I suppose. So he's accepted that the Void Spirit already has his Magnum Scepter. I don't want to wait any longer for my Blink Dagger, especially when I have the Aegis. My team is not going to wait for me as a Winter Wyvern to farm. I'm just going to tank up a little bit. We're going to get the Gem of True Sight. We're going to take control of the map and deward everything. But if they catch them up this high ground here...
This is not the
never
spot you
mind.
want to be going to if you're LGD.
Yeah.
You don't want to wander onto the high ground.
We've had this discussion a lot.
Oh, yeah. That
They don't
is
manage to
a
find anything, though.
disadvantageous spot to be in.
Don't find anything though. Aster opt to farming the enemy team jungle while LGD is in theirs. Bobica playing pretty far back. He needs to get a little bit closer, though, if he wants to make use of this Gem of True Sight.
I will say this has been a lot of time gained here for
Radiant's
LGD,
bottom tower is under attack.
at least to try and recover for the moment.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, any time that they can spend where Aster isn't trying to push with their Aegis, especially when Bobica switched to this double bracer build instead of opting to go as Blink Dagger, is great for them.
Dire's top
And they're even
tower
going to trade
is
1
under
for 1.
attack. Dire are scanning. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Just hoping that
Radiant's
they could
bottom
find
tower
themselves
has fallen.
something of maybe the Ricky.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I'll go for the tier 3 tower. They still have this Aegis for quite some time.
Was it another 2 minutes, 10 seconds on it? I'm not sure if they're actually going to be able to take another. Yeah, with Morphling all the way down here in the bottom
Dire's
lane,
top
they're not
tower
going to see
is
any
under
use out of this
attack.
Aegis.
Never refuse gold given.
Regeneration.
Game has slowed down a lot. I don't like that.
For Aster especially, I thought this was a moment with this Aegis that they were going to want to look to fight. Meanwhile, though, Pangolier, he's going into an Abyssal Blade, which is interesting. We'll see how quickly he can get over to that. SCCC has an item being delivered, which is his BKB, now freshly minted at 10 seconds. Basher picked up for the Pangolier. We have a couple more items were picked up around the horn.
Yep. So let's see this Blink Dagger Ricky in action. Does he get far enough through the back lines
Radiant's
onto the
middle
Keeper of the
tower
Light?
is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has
I think he just
fallen.
spotted him. Yeah, he spotted him. That's his job.
Forward and ooh, quick kill.
See you later, Keeper of the Light. And with that down, I do believe they can push this tier 2 here, assuming nobody cuts it. That's Triple C killing his creep wave before it even hits the tier 2 tower.
Dire's
Not in
middle
any
tower
danger
is
quite
under
yet.
attack.
The Aegis does expire in another 50 seconds though, which may line up with it expiring in the middle of a fight if they decide to push this tier 3 tower here. We'll see.
Dire's middle tower has
Fortify
fallen.
still available for the Dire.
They're looking to go onto the high ground. They need to be careful. A nicely placed Will-O-Wisp could really take them out of this one as the Cold Embrace is SCCC. This Aegis is about to expire. The timings might work out for the side of LGD as they're looking for the duel, but they've got themselves the Winter's Curse that locks up the Legion Commander inside the BKB. So it's a defensive Winter's Curse and a full disengage from Aster.
Yep. At Triple C, he might decide to just die here. Alright, never mind. He's got too much lifesteal to be able to go down. Vladimir's offering nearby. Aegis expires another 5 seconds now.
They're still sticking nearby. E-Blade, and is it enough to get the kill here on a Chalice? He'll be forced to pop that BKB. They still have Will-O-Wisp, but Fade comes in. They've got the Silence, and it's so quick to kill on X-Nova.
Fade's doing his job perfectly with his Blink Dagger. Again, I was telling you at the start of this game that Ricky's going to be a huge problem for the Keeper of the Light, especially with that Blink Dagger.
You need to find a way to lock these heroes down.
Yeah.
So for the duel, goes into the backlines, onto the Winter Wyvern, but look at that damage! Oh my, giving out more damage to the side of Team Aster. Will-O-Wisp finally gets down, but as quickly as it was dropped, it was killed. And I don't know if LGD have any more answers left. They've used what was supposed to be their answers.
Are fortified.
Yeah, with Keeper of the Light down, they're not going to be defending high ground for very long, B-Cop.
Dire's
Gosh,
middle
Chalice
tower
taken
is
out too. He's got buyback, but
Dire's structures are fortified.
the
Insult to
two letters
injury.
seem close.
Insult to injury there, another Rolling Thunder to bring down the Dragon Knight, triggering his PTSD from several other times this game.
Dire's middle barracks are under
FY doing his best to cut these creep waves, but it doesn't even matter, not with the Morphling.
Takes out
Actually,
Fade.
Somnus, cheeky play there.
Can be waiting.
Gets one.
Yeah.
That's all they get.
Melee Barracks is down. The pickoff on the Ricky was sort of nice. I really liked what they did there on PSG.LGD though. Like FY in the back knows he's not going to be able to contribute anything. if he is in the base, then he just ends up getting run at. The gap closed between that Blink Dagger and the Blink Strike on Ricky is huge. Opts to cut the creep wave, and they even get a kill on the Ricky because of it. So, they're going down kicking and screaming right now on LGD. They're not out of it quite yet.
With that one dual win on Winter Wyvern, he's now 2 dual damage short of what LGD's old 11 has.
Not sure if he caught that right there, but Fade was holding on multiple books of knowledge. You have to be a little bit careful right now on PSG.LGD, though. You're probably going to want to take another fight in short order here on Aster. As I say that, they back up and do the opposite of what I asked. Roshan's spawning in 15 seconds, though, so they might scout that up and wait for that.
That was the thought, is they're probably going to be waiting for the Aegis opportunity.
Scanning.
Amazing what you found lying around.
It's a long time, though.
All right.
2 minutes, 50 seconds.
Is this Smoke overly optimistic right now? Should he be biding your time?
I think they're in a spot where they know they need to play desperate.
Yeah. They're playing very tight right now on Aster. I think if you if you catch the enemies out like you want to, it's not going to turn out so good for you.
Fade forward. And Remnant comes in. Chalice, can he finally get around them? He's stunned up. Will-O-Wisp is down, but they've got the Witcher's Curse on 2 of these heroes. They get the kill on the backlines on X-Nova. SCCC will get credit for that one. The BKB's going to be popped by Chalice. They look over at SCCC, who's popped his own BKB. They'll get the kill there on Asanis. Bobica and Fade are dead. They've gotten themselves the lockdown onto the Pangolier, so 3 gone. Void Spirit buys back, so does the Dark Willow. The right clicks on a Schwann, not going to be enough here from Chalice, but Chalice surviving for the moment. Waveform in, though, with the Adaptive Strike to finish him off. Ultra kill for SCCC, and they spot Old 11. Is it the Rampage time for SCCC? It might be, it should be, and it could be, and it will be.
Oh, don't talk shit about my Lincoln Sphere, says SCCC. Now 13-1 in this game, 23k net worth, absolutely destroyed in that team fight, and it looked so promising at the start of that for LGD. They did exactly what they needed to do. They got the spells off on Coddle before he got picked off by the Ricky. They got onto the back lines with Legion Commander and Dragon Knight and killed the supports, but it wasn't enough. I think there's no answer to SCCC at this point. He's too strong, B-Cup.
Yeah, I will regret my decision of saying Lincoln's is an interesting first pickup, but SCCC has made it work, that's for sure.
Taking the Shrine, 37 minutes into the game, Tier 4 items are available now. We'll see what we see. Flicker being the first one, not a very good item.
I'm a big fan of that because that's a North American kind of phrase right there. We'll see what we see.
Well, that's why you fired Mofara and got me in, is to have more North American lingo in the stream, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it feels like that kind of phrase right there, we'll see what we see, sounds like an American phrase translated from another language. Like one of those, we translated it into, into
we
X
made it
language
better.
And then back to English.
We made it better, B-Cup. Come on.
This
Smoking
is another
up again.
desperate play, it seems like, from LGD. Aster step forward. They've got the silence out of the Winter Wyvern, but the damage is just not going to be enough. Now they're looking for the duel. Old 11, though, took a big chunk of damage before he went into the duel. Can he get the kill into the Winter Wyvern? Yes, he can. He finally wins a duel victory here as XSS goes into the Rolling Thunder and now focuses on the side of OGD, hitting 3 of these heroes and disrupting the fight entirely. X-Nova ends up falling. The BKB's been popped by Old 11. He's trying to run with the damage coming through on an FY, so they've got full supports out of the fight. They look over at Chalice, who's in the smoke screen. They get the kill there. They look for one more. Somnus dead. Double kill for SCCC. 4 heroes gone without buyback, and GG is called from LGD.
That looked so promising at the start of the LGD. That's the exact hero that you want to find and pick off at the start of the team fights, the Winter Wyvern, but they just couldn't get it. Again, the Void Spirit was absolutely correct in going on him at the start of that, but even Morphling, SCCC chased around this Keeper of the Light in the back line after he got off all of his spells. but the Pango just got too many heroes in that last ultimate of his. He stunned up like 3 of them again and again with his Rolling Thunder. It was insane.
Yeah, XSS was such a nuisance throughout the entire game, especially to Chalice, who died 7 times. I mean, Xnova went 0-9-6. Nobody really performed outstandingly well on LGD, and it showed. Aster, despite SCCC's kind of poor start. I mean, that was not a good start by any means.
Yeah, he was like at the bottom of every
CS
core
behind.
hero on the CS chart, right?
Yeah.
And he was going first time Lincoln Sphere. We were looking at that thinking, okay, what are you doing? That's not going to help you get back in this game. You're not going to farm any faster. He says, okay, I'll just farm heroes.
Yeah, he did not have a good time at all. And, well, he recovered. 15-1-6, top of the net worth by 10,000 on anybody. SCCC had himself a game, and despite Old 11's 106 dual damage, he still gave up a lot to both the Morphling as well as the Winter Wyvern. So the first game goes to Aster. We'll see if LGD can take this to a game 3. We've seen 1 game 3 already. Maybe we see 2 in a row, but Aster looking for the 2-0 sweep. We'll be back in just a moment. I'm your caster B-Cop, joined here by Neff, and we'll see you in just a second.